Good morning and welcome to the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners meeting of October 24, 2024. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, I think I just, you don't have to, whatever your comfort level is.
Our board is assembled complete. We have a three-member board, starting with Commissioner Coyle.
Good morning.
Commissioner Cherichello, and myself, Stephen Gaudu. And we'll start right in with our RFP openings for historical book restoration.
I move to authorize the Register of Deeds to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
This is an annual statutory requirement. See this every year.
Commissioner Cherichello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, ammunition award for the Sheriff's Department.
I move to award the proposal for ammunition to AAA Police Supply for an amount not to exceed $16,460 as recommended by the High Sheriff.
Second.
Any discussion on this item? I just like I'll make a comment that I'm surprised that at the difficulty in getting some of this stuff that this supplier had the materials in stock that we needed, and some other suppliers did not. It was so I'm glad that we're buying. Almost makes me think that we should buy extra if there is somewhat of a shortage someplace along the way. But I'm certainly in favor of this award. Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Cherichello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, pickup truck for the Sheriff's Office.
I move to award the proposal for pickup truck to McMulkin Chevrolet of Nashua, New Hampshire for an amount not to exceed $30,697 as recommended by the High Sheriff.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
I do have a little bit of discussion. My first thought is, so just, Sheriff, I think, oh yeah, they're there. So, one, this is through forfeiture funds.
Correct.
Okay. I have two concerns, and I mean, I'm ultimately going to defer to you, but why we're getting a new vehicle for this application, and then two, in light of the fact that we are getting also 4 new Durangos, that puts what we originally talking about is like 4 for the year. Now you're at 5. I know this is not coming out of budgetary dollars, and but you know, in an overall, it also adds a new vehicle to the fleet, or in the general sense.
So this vehicle is not for any of our full-time deputies that we have as part of our normal fleet. It is a vehicle that is assigned to the other TFO officers that participate within our regional drug task force. So this is a vehicle that's made available to our partners that work with us in order to make any of these asset forfeitures possible. And so this vehicle will actually be assigned to one of our TFO officers and not part of our normal fleet numbers that we calculate for the more routine work that the deputy sheriffs conduct.
Do you have a person who it's going to, or it's just going to be used general?
It will be assigned to Lieutenant Soares of the Epping Police Department, who is our biggest contributing TFO and has been with us for a number of years. So it will be assigned to him because he's working with us on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And as far as adding another vehicle to the county, we actually traded in an undercover vehicle to reduce the price of that Chevy pickup.
Right, I saw that, the $10,000
So we're not really, we're gaining a vehicle, but we're really not gaining a vehicle because we're getting rid of a undercover vehicle.
What about the point about that it's a new versus used in terms of like for its
well, it's in the automotive business, it's actually cheaper to buy a new vehicle than to go out and buy a used vehicle.
Well, and part of this is that we wanted a newer vehicle that we were going to get a long lifespan out of, because this is part of the fruits of the labor of those task force officers, and that's why we wanted to use asset forfeiture to do that. But we wanted to get a vehicle that we're going to get long-term usage out of instead of purchasing a used vehicle. And it's much easier to get a trade-in allowance on a new vehicle as opposed to you're not getting as big as incentives when you're trading in for another used vehicle. Because with the dealerships, it's all about volume and numbers to get their manufacturer kickbacks hitting numbers.
Further discussion?
I just have one question.
Commissioner Chercello.
Thank you. I'm just curious because I don't know. You mentioned that this truck is going to go to, did you say Exeter or
Epic Source?
Epic. And so, again, I don't know. I'm just asking the question. So the liability side of things, if this officer in Epping is driving this truck, where have we run this through Primax? Where's the liability to the county? I just don't know the mechanics of that.
Yeah, it's all been vetted through Primax before because we have TFOs. They're sworn in as deputies. They're covered under us. They're sworn in as deputy sheriffs, and they're covered under our insurance for using our vehicles.
So this Epping officer would be, when he's in the truck, he's really operating as a county official, per se, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And is he only using it for task force related items?
He's pretty much running task force related items during the course of his normal duties on a regular basis. So he will be, he is one of our officers that works with us nearly on a daily basis.
Except, I guess, I mean, you're not working 100% of the time. I mean, he's the chief there, so he can't be working 100% of the time on. He's
not the chief.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
He's the investigations lieutenant.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry, I misspoke. But he has worked for Epping PD as well, right? Because that's his place of employment.
Correct, but he's not going to switch between cars depending on which type of call he's going out on.
So we're giving a vehicle exclusively to them to be used for the PD at all times.
But we need to be clear that in particular, this most recent asset where these funds are coming from, the entirety of that was as a result of the fruits of the labor from Lieutenant Soares and his activity with our drug task force. We wouldn't have had any of the $120,000 that was seized without the efforts that he puts in on a daily basis.
Any other further discussion on this purchase? Commissioner Chercello.
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
I am reluctantly a yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, let's move on to our consent agenda.
I move to approve the September 26th and October 3rd, 2024 non-public meetings.
Any discussion on the meeting minutes?
One on session 3 of the 26th. There's just a reference to, I don't know if the word delegation, where I don't know if that was just like
which minutes is this?
The 26th. Sorry,
I don't have a copy in front of me right now.
Okay. It's relatively minor. I can just show you quickly. I don't know if that's
second, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, need for the right here.
What do you want to change?
I didn't totally understand it. Maybe it could be a
first paragraph, second.
I can show you.
Sorry.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Delegating
Oh, yeah.
Delegate, right? Not the delegation.
For the as
Yes.
in capital D.
The delegate, meaning.
To delegate, yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's.
that was just the, I
All right.
I wasn't sure if it was in relation to something. So that was my only.
Okay. In that case,
with that amendment,
Second.
yeah.
What are we changing the word to?
Delegate, I'm sorry, delegates.
From delegation to delegate.
To delegate.
Okay.
Meaning you're jobbing out the work.
Yep, understood. All right, with the amended motion.
This was like lengthy, these non-public meeting minutes were lengthy. Very lengthy and very.
I know, because it took a while for me to read them.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, surplus equipment.
I move to approve a surplus equipment request pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 28(8)A and declare an electric bed, an air mattress, and a power lift recliner for long-term services, care services surplus with the items to be properly disposed of.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Payroll.
I move to approve the payroll expense in the amount of $1,447,103.49 for the period ending October 19th, 2024.
Any discussion on?
Still second.
Still second.
Still.
Any discussion on payroll expense? Looks like it's right in line.
Yeah.
Normal.
If that it is.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, reports from our commissioners. Anybody have something they would like to report?
Well, I'd be happy to start. Last night we had the Years of Service Awards. It was a wonderful thing. I was remarking before that we had 2 individuals with 45 years of experience. And from there were a number of individuals with 30, 35, 4. It's just incredible how much the dedication at the county, and it was a wonderful night, a wonderful event. Thank you to HR and all the efforts to put this on. And I think people had a nice time. And I was happy to be part of the celebration to honor those who worked so hard for the county. Ben,
I will echo those remarks. Certainly, it was a nice evening. We enjoyed Zorbino Vineyards was an excellent venue for the event. What's most impressive to me is the number of people who have been here for the longest period of time. Obviously, the county is a good place to come to work. So anybody who's thinking about applying for employment here, this is a testament to how wonderful Rockingham County is. That's my pitch for the day.
The other thing we have is tomorrow is the executive committee meeting on the first quarter budget review. We're doing pretty well. Our numbers are artificially shifted a little higher than they truly are because there's certain costs that come out of the first quarter review that aren't in terms of health insurance, buyouts, comp abs, etc. But if you back out those that are paid for the whole year, we're under budget. So that's great. Keep up the good work, everybody, and watching your budgets and, you know, all your efforts to make sure things continue to run smoothly. So thank you to everyone for all your efforts on the budget.
All right. Anything further? Okay, then we will move along to Department of Corrections, inmate administrative transfer.
I move to approve an inmate administrative transfer dated October 18th, 2024, pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 30-B21, transferring 1 inmate to Hillsborough County Department of Corrections and 1 inmate to Stratford County Department of Corrections as recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
Any discussion on this transfer? Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right. TD Equipment Finance, capital lease proposal.
I move to approve the TD Equipment Finance Incorporated capital lease proposal and authorize the acting chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
This is in relation to the 4 Durangos for the Sheriff's Department, financing for those.
Okay. Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right. Next, we'll enjoy the reading by clerk of the next resolution. Lease reimbursement resolution.
I won't see it. I wouldn't torture everyone. Resolution of the Board of Commissioners, County of Rockingham, New Hampshire, declaring its intention to reimburse itself from the proceeds of lease financing for certain equipment. The Board of Commissioners for the County of Rockingham, New Hampshire, the county has determined that it may be necessary or desirable to advance money to pay the cost of acquiring 4 2025 Dodge Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive vehicles, collectively the equipment. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners for the County of Rockingham, New Hampshire, 1, the Board of Commissioners adopts this declaration of official intent. 2, the Board of Commissioners reasonably expects to reimburse advances made or to be made by the county to pay the cost of acquiring the equipment from the proceeds of certain lease financing with TD Equipment Finance Incorporated. The maximum amount of financing expected to be issued in one or more series for the equipment is $170,424. The vendor supplying the equipment to whom monies would be advanced by the county's Foss Motors Incorporated for a total of $170,424. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. The foregoing resolution was adopted by the Board of Commissioners at its meeting on October 24th, 2024.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the reading? Good job.
Thank you.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, Human Resources exemption request.
Exception request. I move to approve an exception request to Personnel Policy 7-4 wage increase for a County Attorney's Office employee MM as recommended by the County Attorney and Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is just in connection to making sure that there's that recognition of adjusting the hiring grid and where this person has for other experience.
Any other further discussion?
Net impact of less than $2,000.
Right. Okay, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Long-term care services general leave.
I move to approve a general leave request for environmental services employee EG with county portions of all benefits to continue for the period of October 16th, 2024 through October 31st, 2024, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources and Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Discussion.
What is the, where are we going from here? Because
Yes.
they max out on the.
He will, so he has long-term care disability, which is a voluntary benefit they applied for. We're going to, he has a provider appointment at the end of the month. There should be an update there. Sometimes when we hit that 26-week max on the short-term disability for ADA purposes, considering if the doctor said it's another month, we would go forward and probably move forward in that direction and bring a general leave request for that month with the expectation to return. I will be meeting, requesting to meet with the employee to engage in a conversation now, more thorough about what their expectations are about their ability to return to work. So I'll have that in the next week or two.
Okay, so we'll get an update next week or so.
Yes, thank you.
All right, very good. Any further discussion? Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Additional position for referral incentive out of the ARPA project fund.
See, I move to approve the position of Chief Operator WTF WWTF to be added to the list of positions eligible for referral incentives utilizing expenditure category 2.7 of the ARPA project funds.
Second.
Okay, so I have an immediate question. We don't have a dollar amount here.
It's identified in the, it's a total of 2,000 for a total of $2,500. I can add that amendment. It's in the memo.
Right, it's just, I think
Okay.
it should be in the motion,
Sure.
that's all.
At a rate of, if you want to, incentives will be paid in accordance with a currently approved schedule of $750 at 4 months, $750 at 8 months, and $1,000 at 12 months, for a total of $2,500
So
as amended.
the motion as amended,
Just a quick question. I'll second the
Discussion.
amendment.
Discussion.
Purposes, no
Okay.
discussion. Yeah, so just a quick question. Are all of our bonuses paid through ARPA?
Yes.
Okay, because, as we all know, by the end of the year, those monies have to be slotted for certain requirements, right? So eventually this, the bonus program goes away. Probably in 2026, I believe, is the final one. No more ARPA money will be there. I was just curious as to why we were doing it with ARPA versus budget, you know, but anyway, if everybody's doing ARPA, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm being consistent right now with utilizing those funds in ARPA because we don't have it necessarily in salary like we could.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small amount. I'm just curious as to our thought process as to, you know, eventually this program goes away.
But we'll want to address it in the next budget year.
Yeah,
just to make sure that, you know, there's some sort of, it may not be the amounts that we have out there now, but it's helping us try to fill those positions. And I know Jude talked to me about having this particular one because it's such a critical piece to her operation. And
so just piggybacking on that, I'm not picking on the amount. I'm not picking on why. I think it's good. What I want to do is set the table for the next year's budget because, and I won't be here, but two commissioners here will be. They're going to have to discuss whether if that program continues, that's going to have to be put into the operational budget.
Correct.
So just something to think about.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, this is for a referral. This is if one of our employees refers another employee that we accept as in this position.
Right. Yeah.
And then the employee that referred will get the payout as it was distributed.
I mean, it's a great thing because it does seem like, you know, we have a great internal resource of employees referring out saying, oh, it's a great place to work. So,
and this is a highly specialized position. So my hope is that, you know, the current employees will meet like-minded and skilled folks at training, because they have to keep up all their CEUs to keep their licensing. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll bump into somebody at training who they can maybe
do some recruiting.
You have to bring up
swoop over for us. Yeah.
Gotta get it going.
Got it. Okay. All right. On the motion for this incentive, Commissioner Cherichello.
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right. Long-term care services. We have a license renewal application.
I move to approve the Ernest P. Barca Assisted Living License Renewal Application and authorize the acting chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services and the Assisted Living General Manager.
Yes.
You mean second?
I'm ahead of myself.
You're second and yes.
This is discussion. Any discussion on this application?
No.
It's kind of a no-brainer. Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Cherichello?
Yes again.
And yes again, and I vote yes.
All right. Say second.
Yeah.
Request for use of residents' efforts fund.
I move to approve the utilization of the resident efforts funds for a resident holiday event scheduled for December 23rd, 2024 at amount of $3,000 pending approval of the resident council.
Second.
Any discussion on holiday party?
This is going to be great. It's really a family-friendly event. The idea is it's scheduled when kids get out of school, so that the families can come, decorate cookies, do face painting, really engagement for the whole family, which is really nice. I think it's awesome. It's a great idea.
Gingerbread houses, maybe?
Maybe.
I think, yeah. So.
Okay. Commissioner Cherichello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right. Sheriff's Office, New Hampshire Department of Safety Warrant Entry Team Grant Award.
I move to approve the 2024 New Hampshire Department of Safety Warrant Entry Team Grant Agreement in the amount of $3,165 and authorize the acting chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the High Sheriff. Further, move to approve the use of the county grant contingency line to fund the remainder of the project at an estimated amount of $1,435.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
So that's just the match portion for the grant, like a 50% match.
No, so there's no match requirement on this one, Commissioner. It's just that the total project exceeded the amount of funding awarded.
Okay. Okay.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, department head updates. We'll start with HR. Allison.
So, Allison Kinokoski, Senior Director of Human Resources. We were all things years of service event planning, and it was a great event. And thank you to everybody that came, and for those ODDs and the commissioners for allowing us to host such a wonderful time. And hopefully we'll have another wonderful experience next year. And that's where we've been. We've just been really busy with a lot of other items that are done. But thank you.
Kendra.
Good morning, Kendra Mayall. I'm General Manager for Ernest B. Barca Assisted Living, presenting on behalf of Chantel Jacques Conan as well, the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services. Huge thank you to the commissioners and HR for a lovely event last night. We had several assisted living employees that were recognized, and they just could not speak of how much of a great time they had, a beautiful venue. So thank you very much. Just really exciting and wonderful to be a part of a group like that. Census over in assisted living is 47 with one committed move-in on Monday. So census will be sitting at 48. We have 0 COVID in the building for residents and employees. Long-term care sits at a census of 133, and they also have 0 COVID for employees and residents as well. The big thing this week for both sides of the house is that we had voting take place on Tuesday. They came into both communities and let our residents participate in the local elections and voting, which they took very seriously. And Jessica Wendell received a lot of positive feedback from families, loved ones, about how they were very thankful that we take it so seriously and that residents were able to participate and cast their vote, because every vote counts. And that is the update from us.
That's great.
Outstanding. Katie for finance.
Good morning, Katie Casey, Assistant Finance Director. All is well in finance. Payroll went well this week. A couple of bumps in the road, but the girls upstairs managed to get it all done. As most of you know, Jessie is leaving.
Yes.
Tomorrow, her last day. So big thank you to Jessie Tonry. And we wish her all the best. She's been such a vital asset to finance all these years. So,
Mr. Chair, can I just say a quick word? I should have said this under the commissioner's update. Jessie has been, the 4 years that I've been here, she's been outstanding, a very hard worker, and I should have remembered to say this at the time, and I apologize, but I'm really sad to see Jessie go. But as we know, if people can better themselves, I'm all power to them. We will definitely miss her. She's been an asset to the county, and I wish her the best.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Allow me to say
Yes.
Anything further in finance, Katie?
No, all is well in finance, business as usual.
Great. Jude.
Good morning. I have nothing new to report this week. The facilities folks that attended the event last night also had a wonderful time. The HR team did a terrific job, and we very much appreciate that because it's what happened. Other than that, situation going on. Listen.
Great.
Thank you.
Layla.
I have nothing new to report.
Nothing new. Everybody pass in their annual report materials?
I'm waiting on one.
All right, I won't lie. You don't have to tell.
I like to avoid public shaming.
All right, so we'll move on to the sheriff's department.
Good morning. I just want to say how proud I am. You know, I attended last night's event, and it's just awesome to see the people that continue to work for Rockingham County, the dedication they put in. Allison and her team did a great job last night getting this event going. And that's about it. And we're actually saving electricity today because we have Superintendent Henry over here. So if you want to use him next, that would be great. So.
All right, efficient use of office space.
We're sharing.
All right, Jason, tell us about Department of Corrections.
I'm just looking at my new space up here, just trying to get a feel of how we're gonna move things around. That's why I'm up here. So,
I came into work this morning. He was sitting behind my desk. I go, you're not ready yet.
But Sheriff, I bet you're not upset that he's going to take over, are you?
Oh, not at all. He can have it.
all right, good morning, everybody. We're at 140 in-house. Tomorrow, the 124th Academy graduation, which I'll be at because I run it all. Catherine will be there for me for the meeting. The other thing I have is you received a letter from Chester for all the work that our inmate road crew is doing with Evans. So I thought that was nice of them to send a letter. And that's going well. We've hit several towns there, Portsmouth, New Durham, a couple other places. So it's nice to have them back out there doing stuff. And that's all I have for right now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Registry of Deeds, Kathy Stacy.
Good morning. I too obviously am going to echo all the sentiments from everybody else this morning. It was a wonderful event. Allison and her team did a wonderful job. The venue was fantastic, and I congratulate everybody who was awarded the years of service. Other than that, there's nothing to report. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. I think that concludes our department head updates. And next we'll move into new business or old business. Does anybody have any new or old business they would like to bring up?
Allison does with
Allison.
I have old business as far as Indeed Quick Apply, if you don't mind, could you I was asked to kind of look in, dive deep to help coordinate some streamlining, and we created this and put it in the speech.
Well, I mean, I think what we've been talking about, I don't know if you're probably better to talk about it, but in the general sense that, and I had some questions, we want department heads to be able to access all the Indeed quick apps and then do the initial screening. We want to move that away from HR to department heads because we think that it's going to be a better recruiting tool to have the department heads with the institutional knowledge be able to do that. I mean, we've had these discussions. Right. So that's the framework for which this comes before us, which is talking about Indeed access, because right now department heads do not have Indeed access. So I think Superintendent Henry, do you have Indeed access?
Yeah, we have Indeed access. We get all the candidates that come through and open up, and then we make the phone calls from there, so we get access.
Okay, so how many? I guess maybe Allison, this is your time to take it away in terms of who currently has access. Can we give access without adding subscription costs, and what does that mean? And as it relates to the Quick App.
So there's two things. So there is Quick App, which allows so right now we have Indeed for all of everything, and we sponsor stuff on Indeed, and everything that is on Indeed that's not Quick App goes through our NeoGov, which then you get those emails all day long about those applicants that come through. So the side off spin to it is called Quick App. So
sorry, can I slow you down?
Yeah.
Who in the county right now has those Indeed subscriptions?
So nobody has, and everybody has the NeoGov Indeed information. The Quick App right now is just at the long-term care side of the house.
Okay. So everybody has Indeed access?
Everybody has Indeed access.
Wait, go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, so Indeed is a completely separate platform than NeoGov, our applicant tracking system. So basically, historically, we would have Indeed, which is just another job board. It's the most popular one, of course, which is why we sponsor so heavily on it. And previously, our jobs, when you clicked apply on Indeed, would bring you to our county website to have folks go through the county application, which is quite lengthy, as we all know. So what we did previously, since long-term care is a huge priority for us, is implement that Indeed Quick Apply, which is when people just send over quick resumes so that, I can receive their contact information and get going in the process as soon as possible without as much commitment to complete that kind of 30-minute long application. So the other departments have not yet had Indeed Quick Apply. They have been, being redirected to the county website to complete that application. And as of right now, I am the only person that has access on Indeed to receive Quick Apply applications, because otherwise other departments, their positions would, be put forward to the county website to have that person go through it. So this would change that to where people, the hiring managers and department heads would have access to Indeed Quick Apply, where they would potentially and should still receive applications through NeoGov if someone were to find us through our county website instead. But since most job seekers are on Indeed, we would be changing those jobs to Indeed Quick Apply, giving the hiring managers for those specific positions access to that Quick Apply. And then they would be getting emails as well as applications in our applicant tracking system. So it'll be a little bit different, which will certainly require some training with any hiring managers that are added to Indeed Quick Apply, because it'll be kind of a different form of recruiting than what everybody is used to. But it'll definitely be a great way to kind of make the hiring process a little more efficient and quick right in that kind of first get-go.
So we've listed those that have access right now through the NeoGov. Those are the people that are defined as hiring managers and have the ability to hire or request, offer. So we would give Quick Apply access to all of those that are defined in the notice that we provided to you. There's 29 users. It would be 29 users. So that would be doing right away. We have a little letter that would go out to all of those people so that they would understand what Quick Apply is. And then Autumn would do a 15-20 minute, host a couple of different meetings to just take them through it so that they would understand how to get in it, the ease of use of it, and if they need to make any notations and stuff like that.
Great. And that is there a subscription cost to add those users? Not for.
Nope. That's all.
Okay, so we're going to get that up and running no matter
tomorrow.
what. Great.
They'll be all getting access to it.
Great.
So they'll get the letter today. She'll upload their names, get them on that, and then she'll work with them to set up some training schedule.
Great. So what's the three on the back page?
Right.
You got 29 users, 8 users, 5 users.
So that's a subscription. So right now, Autumn has the professional subscription. So if you can do the Indeed, Quick Apply, and also monitor everything. And she does cold calls. That's where she can do outreaches. She can see people out in Indeed. She can push out a request to connect with them. They can either accept it or not. If they accept, then they're able to engage in a conversation, whether, she sets up a quick time with them or she goes back and forth on an email with them. There's different costs associated with that. So a subscription user is $120 amount per person that's on there. So if we had 29 users doing that, it would cost $27,840 for the remainder of the 8 months. If we do 8 users and we define those as notated there, it would be $7,680. If we do 5, which Autumn listed as critical to the departments where we're not getting, we really need to focus on that. Environmental services, assisted living, corrections, dispatch, and facilities. We figure those are having the ins and outs and have, like, Jude has 3 tech positions open. Those are critical positions, but they're hard to fill. So it depends on if you want us to do any of these. Okay.
So this is just my thought. I would probably go for the 5 standard units because again, $4,800.
See how it goes.
And my reasoning is, again, you've got the donation on the bottom of the page that you're proposing to use ARPA money for this, which is fine. But remember, you're 6 months out from the new budget. And so you're going to have to, if you want to continue that program, you're going to have to build that into your operation. So I'd much rather put the 4,800 than the 27,000.
It would give time for Autumn then to work with those folks and assess how they're doing in that platform, the subscription platform, and see what successes they're having or any fallouts from that. We did go back and talk to Chuck about ARPA use. Julie ran some numbers because we had to be where we were at 2019. He asked us to do the comparison to be able to use ARPA funds. Julie was able to run those numbers. She fed them over to Chuck. He affirmed that county attorneys, Department of Corrections, assisted living, environmental services would qualify under ARPA funds. Dispatch would not because they had already, they're less in 24 than they were in 2019. Is that correct?
They had more openings in 2019 than they do right now.
But then we could ask, the other thing is we can ask departments. It's like if they're not going to be covered under ARPA, that if they want to, it's not a huge sum to pull out of their budget. They could probably find the money within the budget from a dispatch standpoint well, I
could go over my budget.
Well, they could build.
I could go over my budget, by a certain threshold and pull from somewhere else if I have to keep it under the kind of recruitment process and how we advertise and stuff. So I wouldn't have an issue for doing that one. But if you're wanting to do all the other ones, it becomes a little bit, I hadn't planned for it this year.
Okay, so I'm a little unclear. Right now, Autumn has access to actively seek out new or passive job seekers.
Yes.
People just posted but didn't look for us, and then you could reach out and say, hey, you should come to work for Rockingham County. If we add another user to that, then that person will have the similar access to do that.
Standard subscription.
So have we asked these departments if they will actually participate in this activity? I mean, is somebody from corrections going to go on Indeed and actively seek out people?
Jason.
Right. No, we had not gone to the department heads.
Jason's got his hand up.
I see a hand.
So as far as, just so you know, as far as I'm concerned, we won't do cold calls. I don't want anything to do with that. I think that's more, for me personally, it's more appropriate for Autumn wants to do cold calls on this county, but if they're not applying for my place, I don't want anything to do with them calling them. I'm looking for people that are actually applying here. So on our end, I know we wouldn't use it.
You wouldn't use the multiple subscription. But is this just the subscription? Is that just for cold calls, or is that
to outsourcing? Yeah, to go out and search.
Okay, Ken.
I'm only going to speak for assisted living. I won't speak for Chantel because this is the first time I heard about that. I'm not well versed in human resources, or I feel like Autumn and I have a great relationship. She has found lots of applicants for assisted living. We've built our team. I personally know Lauren, Jen, neither one of them will have time in their day for me to add this into their day for them to go on to Indeed and find. And if it is an expectation that will now fall under me for assisted living, I will find time to work that into my day, but I would prefer to rely on Autumn because that is her area of expertise and she has done above and beyond for us in assisted living. So I would like to stick with Autumn in the process that she uses. But if the expectation is something different now, I can adjust, but my preference would be to stick with Autumn.
I think the objective here was not to turn recruiting all to the department heads. Our objective was to have that initial screening done by department head who are most versed and could effectuate a faster turnaround time and a more efficient, fluid process to try to hook people who have applied. So I wonder if we should, rather than jumping into the subscription immediately, let's start with just the Indeed quick access, see how that goes in terms of that process. We don't need to spend any money, slow down, see how that aspect works, and then circle back and say, hey, this is work, like get some data. Does anybody?
No, I was under the misimpression that, or the impression that what we were trying to do is on the technical side. So if you're in nursing and there's questions, you got to talk to nursing because they're very well versed in what you're doing. And I looked at it as taking a little bit off of Autumn's plate because all the pressure is going onto her. I just thought that's how I viewed it, and I think that was your recommendation earlier. That's how I saw it. I don't think you guys should be spending your time cold calling everything. That's not where I was thinking.
So I would suggest that we do not add any subscribers to this. Autumn can use it as she sees fit. If there's a discussion with a department head that says, I would like to actively participate as a subscriber, then I think we entertain that subscription. And I'm thinking the only place that's going to apply might be long-term care, just because they have so much need, but you have to have the bandwidth to actually do that work and seeking out people. So if there's a proposal that comes to us later, we want to know who was agreed to actually do the work if we're gonna spend the money for the subscription.
Well, that just gives you the knowledge of
what it's about.
And what that is about, because I think that was a question on that. So
Okay.
Thank you. We just wanted to entertain that and see, but I appreciate that.
Okay.
So the quick apply is gonna go live and the letter will go out, and then she'll host a little training sessions. She'll try to host a couple different ones, and we'll get everybody up and running.
Very good.
That's exciting.
I know there was some issue with postings on Indeed. Did we get that squared away, Autumn?
I'm working with Indeed right now. It's something to do on their technical end. It ended up being something that my direct contact wouldn't have been able to handle. She followed up with me again this morning. I did ask her if there is a workaround for getting our positions posted in the meantime. And she had mentioned that, you know, due to the duplications that would have been on their end, they have to work through it on their end first. So I am working with my kind of direct contact on Indeed, making sure that that kind of technical request is at the top of their priority, because it's some of our positions that we do absolutely need posted on the platform. I noticed it a couple days ago, and today is day 2 of working with them. So I'm very on top of it. Hopefully we can get it squared away, you know, by tomorrow at the latest.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Any other new business or old business? Commissioner Chercello.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Godu, I need to ask this of you, if you don't mind. I received a couple of phone calls on an issue, and I kind of need clarification from you. I guess in the last couple of weeks, you were in Derry doing a public access TV program, and a conversation about the new building had come up, which you correctly stated that the costs were $76 million. However, you then stated that that was just for construction costs, that the true cost was $88 million. And I need to ask you where you're getting your figures that we spent $12 million before the building costs came up, because that's what you stated online, and people are asking me, did you spend $12 million? So I want to afford you the opportunity to enlighten us as to how you came up with this. We spent $12 million before the $76 million.
I'll look up the records and send you a copy.
You'll look up the records and, excuse me?
I'll look up what I have for information and I'll share it with you.
Okay, so then, as I still have the floor, I'm going to tell you, we did not spend $12 million. I take great pride in the work that the prior commission did during COVID and with the building and to hold taxes low. When someone distorts information, I told you before that I will call it out, okay? And I'm calling it out. That is very misleading to say that we spent $12 million before the building, which we did not. As a matter of fact, the 4 years of tax increase was 5%. It was very lean and mean. We got a lot done because of the ARPA money. So I'm concerned because earlier you had sent out a newsletter saying that the building was going to cost $88 million. We corrected you. Then in a Facebook post, you attributed the increased costs to the building. Again, you admitted you were wrong here. So that's 2. And I have a concern, and I'm trying not to be mean, but you know, Rockingham County is the best county in the state. We have an acting chair that's giving out false information. And I, for one, don't like it. Now I'm leaving, as we all know, and you're going to continue, that's fine. But I will call out every time there's a misleading information going out to the voters. So I have a problem with that.
So the basis for that comment, and I'm not sure if I gave the exact number correctly, was that there was money spent before the construction project. There was money spent on design and preparation of the construction project. The Harvey construction project for $76 million, that contract is strictly for construction. It was not for design and architectural work.
That's not.
No.
Am I wrong about that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, well, I'll look it up and I'll,
you can do
stand corrected.
You can do your research, but
I had done some earlier on when I first became commissioner. Those were the numbers that were presented to me. I'll have to look up exactly how that laid out. I mean, I'm well aware that the contract is for a maximum amount of $76 million with Harvey. I believe there were some other related expenses to that previous to signing this contract. Now, if I made a mistake, I made a mistake, but I don't believe I did.
So you did, because you actually said it was 88 million, the difference being $12 million, because people would call me and I said, no, that's not true. Now, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be mean, but you have the least experience out of the 3 commissioners here. And this is the 3rd time you've sent out information that was bad. And so I'm going to make a motion that we vacate the acting chair seat, because you're presenting to the public misinformation. You just, and no disrespect, you are new and you're still learning. I get that. But it's irresponsible for you to tell the largest town in Rockingham County that we spent $12 million when we did not. And I can't let that go.
I mean, to Commissioner Churchill's point, it's at best reckless. I mean, it really is. You're making representations that are unfounded and without backing, without you know, if you're casually saying to the public, I made a mistake, it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. I mean, we need to be tight. Like, you need to be.
I will look up the information that I have and try to clarify where these extra expenses came in. That's how it was explained to me when I first came on board. If I've misrepresented, then I will make the correction. But my understanding was that there were additional expenses that were incurred before the construction contract was
again, you mentioned the 88 million because you're trying to circle back to what your original newsletter was, to save face.
No, it's not to save face.
Right, that's my opinion.
Was there extra? There were no expenses.
$12 million
with their additional expenses from $76 million to do all the architectural and design work previous to actually
$12 million. You said 88 million. I'm taking words out of your mouth. Mr. Chair, there's a motion on the floor that I make the motion to vacate the acting chair.
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay.
I mean,
what's the plan? So, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to say that as the best county in the state, the person who heads that for the commissioners needs to be responsible, need to know the facts before you go out to the public. And this is the 3rd time. I've been very patient. Like I said, it's not, you're going to be here 4 years and you've got some learning to do. And that's fine. That's not a problem. But I just don't think that you should be the head of the table while you're misspeaking about this. This is the 3rd time. So, so I would think that we would just have to vote for the new chair. It's basically.
But I mean,
he's acting chair. Vacating that, we still have the option to name a chair because that was vacated prior. I think that would be the plan.
Who are you going to propose the acting? I mean, like, we're going to be in a stalemate.
Well, if it's a stalemate, it's a stalemate.
I know, but I'm saying it's like, I mean, I'll just come out. Like, I'm happy we've now gone through a circle. I'm happy to take that position as acting chair. But if you're saying, I'm not going to support you, and, you know, so I'm just asking your position here so we can just, like.
Well, I'm happy that you brought that up because I'm concerned of the reputation that we have and what's being put out there. I know that you've got more experience and you know the numbers because you actually lived them. So, you know, it's either going to be you or I is basically how I see it because, and no disrespect to him, he's just too inexperienced to take control of this. And I know it's for a short amount of time, but, you know, if you want to take it and you can't find support for me, then I can elevate you to chair, because I know you've got the experience, and you're not spouting off any of those information, but that's
fine. Then I mean, like, I'm happy. I think at this point, there's been so much, I'm happy to take it over. There's been a lot of animosity. I think we just need to move forward.
The only other issue I see is you'd have to resign as clerk, because I don't think you could do both.
No,
right?
I mean, all right. I move to table this motion till next week, and we can figure out some mechanics so that we have the fluidity of.
I'll second the table.
We can just figure out because then who's going to be clerk, and it's.
Yeah. All right. Well, the motion's at the table, so there's no discussion on that, so.
On the motion to table, Commissioner Chercello?
No.
Commissioner Coyle?
I vote yes to table.
And I vote yes to table. Okay. Motion to table. Public comment. Do we have anybody? Tom, you have anything to say? I guess not. Okay, so in that case, that I would.
Did you tell them to hit star 6 or 9? Maybe he's on his phone. Just give him another opportunity.
Tom, can you hear us?
Hits star 9 to unmute.
New business.
I'm good, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Then I would accept the motion to move into non-public.
So moved.
On the motion to go into non-public, Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We are in non-public session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
We are back from our non-public session, and at this point, Commissioner Coyle has a motion.
Okay, I have multiple motions in this instance. We had 5 non-publics. So with respect to numbers 1, 3, and 5, I'm sorry, not 3, 1, 4, and 5, I move to seal those minutes, all those minutes indefinitely, because they could adversely affect the reputation of someone other than a member of this board.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
I move to seal the second non-public until January 1st, 2025, because it could render a proposed action ineffective.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
And I move to seal the third non-public indefinitely, because it could also render a proposed action ineffective, and we don't have an end time to this.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
And most important?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Chercello?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We are adjourned.